I spent my entire college time thinking that I was not pretty and my body wasn't correct enough and all those things because I didn't fit into a lot of things. Or the whole trend of romantic films where saying no to boys was cool. And then being chased was cool and all of that stuff and how the women were treated and how they were, it affected me a lot. I have very mixed views on infidelity.
And then there are layers of physical cheating is not okay, but emotional cheating is bad.
It's just stupid, I think. Cheating is secondary. I think what is more important is the other aspects of it. And if I know 100 people, I'll tell you 90 of them have cheated on their partners. I'm telling you this because this is the fact.
And that time I was saying no to a lot of work. And there came this project where it was like very sex comedy, It was just...
it was very sex comedy.
It's like, it had jokes like, jo ek ladka ladki ke saath nahi marta hai, dude. And obviously all on women and everything. And I remember because I was saying no to a lot of projects, I wasn't doing very well financially. And they offered me a great deal of money and everything. And I remember director was saying, bro, do it now, we'll have fun and everything. And And just, मैं घर पे आया, I discussed it with Akanksha and I was like, यार, इतना खराब narration था.
Sit down and she said, I have a friend who's in Marathi say Pakshi Tadnya. His son is coming and we thought you'll meet because otherwise, who's going to marry you if you speak like that? And I was like, and I was also very dramatic. I said, in Marathi, I said that somebody just pulled the rug off I feel that the earth is tearing apart and I'm getting, how could you say like that? Who are you? You're not my mother and all that. Obviously, it was very dramatic. There was a time when I was pregnant and I wasn't sure about whether I wanted to have the child or not. And when I spoke about it, people got so upset. At one point, I said, I'm not, and this friend of mine was like, don't say that, the child's listening. I said, yeah, sure, that child understands what I'm speaking, but if I keep it inside, it won't reach the child.
Yeah.
Hello everybody, I'm Rudrani and welcome to Zoom Speak Easy. Twisted tales and sprinkle of love and all that is always so interesting. I have very, very talented team of Saali Mohabbat joining in to tell me so much more about that. Twisted tales, I know you have a thing for twisted tales, don't you?
I do, it seems like.
Tell me, where is the, this is going to sound like I'm doing therapy, where is the jud of it all?
It started in my childhood. It started in my childhood where it always starts.
But no, yeah, it's interesting though, right? I'll tell you why I asked that. I like it when characters, particularly female characters, are devoid of the moral boundaries that are so particularly given to women. I want to know more about that. The establishing of each character that you wanted to, how that came together for you. And why was it important for you to kind of, blur those lines of good, bad, and grey?
I don't really know what good is in that sense. It's also subjective. A lie, your lie, someone else's truth, it's a point of view, it's perspective. Yeah. It's always that. When I was a very young girl, about 12 or 13, we had just moved from Kabul, Afghanistan, and to India, and I had great hopes of India. That India mein sab kuch ho jayega. All my aunts and uncles are here, all my cousins are here. It's going to be like some sort of fairy tale land for me. Because we lived a fairly isolated life in Afghanistan. There was just mountains and snow and white sheets which let a child's imagination bloom. When I came to India, we were living in this place called Noida, and my dad would drive us once in a...
cut to Noida.
Cut to Noida, Noida as some would say, would drive us from Noida once in a week, once in 10 days as our big outing to Delhi. And we'd, cross from one side to the other over the Yamuna, and I would be sitting in the car in the back and I'd be looking at these buses and all these people, having never seen so many people. I'd look at them and I'd look at these faces and I'd think, oh, I want to know this person, I want to know what their story is, but the bus would move. And that started the idea for me, and I would start crying with the sadness of it. As a very young child, I'm sure it was my hormones as well, but I was like, we never really know people. the person that looks like, somebody's innocuously sitting in a bus and they've got a faraway look in their eye and you're wondering, ye kya soch rahe? Ye kaun hai? Or like if you're going by train, there's a woman with a big guthrie on her head and there's a goat. And then you wonder कि ये उसको मारने जा रही है, कि ये इसका दहेज है, what is going on there? So I always had that curiosity about people. It would pain me that I cannot get to know everyone, or at least the ones who I'm seeing. And for me, I wondered that the people that are there on display, because today there's your nails and there's diamonds on your nails and then there's stones on your lashes and there's color in your hair. Are these the people who are living the most exciting lives? Or are the ones who have nothing to show but are very quietly there? What is the excitement in their life? So that was the genesis of the character that Radhika played, which is that internally, that character's got so much going on. Upar se there's nothing. You'll just see, one housewife.
Talk about my character also. So nicely you, bolo itna hi passion se.
Iska Ratan ka character, I always found it, there is a big story there as well. Ratan ka character, I always thought that, ye police wala kyun bana? Ye bana because he thought it's easy access to money. But when he came into contact with people, he realized, money is this. This is also money. कुत्ते एसी में रहते हैं, कुत्तों का अपना बावर्ची है. That was a line which I don't think has stayed in the वो line नहीं फिल्म में. So he says कि कुत्तों का अपना एसी है and he's struggling for 2-3 हज़ार रुपए इधर से उधर से बना. But there's that ambition which is so true of small town India. What the mobile phone has given them, you could be sitting in Bilaspur or Bathinda, but you're thinking Vegas and because you can see it. It's on your phone. So then, how do you navigate that? How do you get there? So that is bharad inside him as a character. Uski aankhein aise hai ki I want everything and I want it fast because I want, while I'm fit, while I'm active, while I'm energetic, I want to get it all. So, and these two characters are in sort of.
So nice. So your childhood it has more in Ratan. Like how you wanted to know these people and do everything. Correct, na?
Absolutely.
But what a traumatic childhood, yaar.
That's
Kabul to Noida.
Yeah.
Matlab, wo kya tragedy hai, seriously.
Full tragedy. Or not, because I got a film out of it.
Yes.
There you go.
Now we're talking, yes.
There you go.
Badi
Trauma
Kabul
has
hai,
been channelized.
आपको कबूल करना पड़ेगा.
You said about the good wife thing. मुझे लगता है हमारी society में the idea of a good wife also is so tailor-made and so weird, right? Women all around are trying to be something, hiding their emotions and constantly serving the people. So is her character. You're doing it for everything. She's constantly taking care, and there is this conversation that we have, and it's, I think, not just on-screen characters, even normal women have that. Then there's so much suppression that you're hiding, and there's so much that you're giving and not receiving. There is a rage that is simmering always, and that can manifest in different things because men are allowed to show rage, women are never. I think this is also the basis of what she becomes. I was trying to analyze why. Would you agree? Your thoughts and what do you think about the necessity of women having to rage out at times?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's such a misconception, right? If you don't express it, it is inside where it doesn't go anywhere, and then there's such resentment. And I don't know why people are so scared of people expressing it, and they'd rather keep it in. There was a time when I was pregnant and I wasn't sure about whether I wanted to have the child or not. And when I spoke about it, people were got so upset. At one point I said, I'm not, and this friend of mine was like, don't say that, the child's listening. I said, yeah, sure, that child understands what I'm speaking, but if I keep it inside, it won't reach the child.
Yeah.
I was like, out of your mind? I said, what do you, just learn things, learn lines you tell people, aise nahi bolte, aise awaaz nahi uthate, and it's just so much suppressed rage. It comes out. It comes out on your children. It comes out on yourself.
Yeah.
So much self-destruction. It comes out, and I just feel like, why better out than inside. Help, like I always feel like people, let them talk, let them ask them what they feel, let women talk, let women be open about it. It's a lot of stuff kept inside, and you see that every day. You see that in your mothers, your aunts, you see that your friends. You're absolutely right. My goodness, you're so right. Friends, work colleagues. I mean, it's not just in your marital relationship or family dynamics, right? It's also at work.
Yeah.
So much at work. We keep it inside.
Yeah, and I will relate that to your character, and then, but before that, I want to come back to what you just said about you have to express. You're among the very few people who, you know, I don't even want to say that, that you just don't care, but I'm sure at some points that you do, but you have been so authentic and you have expressed what you wanted to. In also an industry or in any place where you're not supposed to be saying things and calling out the wrong things. And you've always done that, Radhika, which is why I, of course, have a massive amount of respect for you. But there's always a price that you pay for it. And maybe you're okay with it. Maybe you're okay with not, going in the parties and not getting that kind of roles. But I feel like there is so much respect for someone who continues to call out what is wrong. I would like your comments on that.
The thing is, my mother was actually very progressive, extraordinarily progressive. I don't know what happened. She was probably going through some phase at some point or something. She behaved like she was a different person. I had broken up with my first boyfriend who I was seeing for a while. And then she said, and I said something I was always quite like rebellious. I'll say anything I want. And then she looked at me, she said, sit down. And she said, I have a friend who's in Marathi, say Pakshi Tadnya. His son is coming and we thought you'll meet, because otherwise, who's going to marry you if you speak like that? And I was like, and I was also very dramatic. I said, in Marathi, I said that somebody just pulled the rug off I feel that the earth is tearing apart and I'm getting, how could you say like that? Who are you? You're not my mother and all that. Obviously, it was very dramatic. Sure. But I was like, dude, you've changed or something. But the truth is, I told her that people who call me out, do you think I would want to marry them anyway? You know, and I've tried to keep that with me. I was like, people who criticize me for telling this truth, do I really want to work with them? I'd rather not. And I think one rule I've followed in this industry, and I normally never say advice because who am I to give any advice? I have no advice for anybody. But the only thing I'd say is that, yes, passion. I understand passion for cinema. It's not really passion for cinema, it's passion for fame when it comes to Bollywood, really. But
well said.
I'm saying that this is not be all and end all. There are lots of things in the world, so interesting, so creative, and so fabulous. If you can't make it in this industry, it doesn't matter. Honestly, there's so much more and so much more happiness everywhere. And I followed that. Because otherwise, if this becomes everything, then you're scared to talk about anything and not call out anything. So that's probably what's kept me going. Also, I don't know how to not speak. I later ask people, I shouldn't have said something probably. But it's automatically comes out.
ऐसा लगता है राधिका के अंदर एक नाना पाटेकर है ना. ये हिंदू का खून, ये मुसलमान का खून, बता कौन है ये.
It's like sometimes I'm watching myself like, shut up.
नहीं, but नहीं. Don't.
Please don't shut up.
No, I know, but it's like, it's not that I'm thinking, I'm speaking sometimes. I just, it's like a button.
But it's so refreshing because you have so much PR, you have so much people just telling you not to do that. But even amongst that, you're still managing to be that authentic.
Another thing, sorry, I'm not going to keep going on about this, but I also feel that in this country, whether you like it or not, and we spoke about this earlier, cricket and cinema are two most famous things, right?
Yeah.
People literally, that's their one thing of inspiration. That's what they go for. So whether you like it or not, you have a lot of influence. Whether you're a small actor like me or a huge star, doesn't matter. You have influence. And there comes a responsibility with it.
Of course.
It really comes. You can't just keep talking. People, their lives are shaped sometimes by tiny things you say or you don't say. Because mine was.
Yeah.
Like, mine was. I went through a lot of ups and downs because of the actors and actresses I admired, and I thought I was
Can you give me an example of that?
Like, I spent my entire college time thinking that I was not pretty and my body wasn't correct enough and all those things because I didn't fit into a lot of things, or the whole trend of romantic films where saying no to boys was cool. And then being chased was cool and all of that all of that stuff and how the women were treated and how they were, it affected me a lot, and I was a part of that. And then obviously, luckily, you question everything and you realize it's all rubbish, but it does have a huge effect. So I think there's some responsibility you have, and you cannot separate yourself from politics. And again, as we discussed, politics is not voting or election or party.
Can be any.
Politics is society, it's day-to-day life,
what
your
you
perspective,
think, how
what
you
you
think.
And it's you have to be responsible. And I'll stop there.
No, but because you said that it was anyways coming, all three of you here are actors who in some way or the other through their art express things. When she said how closely she thought about the characters and how there is her own personal ideology or a belief or whatever thinking involved in that. And you are all thinking actors. I want to understand where do you draw the line when you are choosing scripts, all three of you? What is it that you will not do? Of course, we know what you will do. But what is it that you draw the line for yourself, saying, you know what, I don't want to do a thing like this because I know what I'm doing has a voice and it will be carried and people will follow.
Yeah.
For me, it's very simple. If I feel that doing something that I would feel embarrassed looking myself on the screen, मैं नहीं करूँगा उसको. Like very early on in my career, when I was doing comedies, there was a phase when, if you remember, a lot of sex comedies were made.
हाँ, बिल्कुल.
जिसमें से अभी भी एक
हाँ.
दोबारा पैदा हुई.
जी.
But there was a proper phase of sex comedies.
बहुत सारे, yeah.
And that time I was saying no to a lot of work. And there came this project where it was like very sex comedy, It was just...
it was very sex
It's like, it had jokes like जो एक लड़का लड़की के साथ नहीं मारता है, dude. And obviously all on women and everything. And I remember because I was saying no to a lot of projects, I wasn't doing very well financially. And they offered me a great deal of money and everything. And I remember director was saying, bro, do it now, we'll have fun and everything. And and just, मैं घर पे आया, I discussed it with Akanksha and I was like, यार, इतना खराब narration था. I said the same thing, कि मैं अपने दोस्तों के साथ भी jokes नहीं मारूंगा.
Uncomfortable थे आप.
बहुत ज़्यादा. And coming from theatre and everything, you understand, certain things about, and you agree and don't agree with things. I was like, यार, ये तो चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए. If we have to beg, borrow, steal, कुछ भी करना हो, ये नहीं करना कभी भी. And thankfully, she also said कि no, we don't want to be part of such films just to say कि अरे यार मेरे पास option नहीं था, मैंने कर लिया.
And you needed that money. So
I needed that
I have
money.
respect
and,
for you.
No, thank you. There was this one, because I'm fair, so there was a men's fairness cream ka thingy offered.
Yeah.
And I flatly said no to it. These two things, I'm very happy and proud that I said no to.
Bravo.
But that sex comedy got made, and I'll tell you which one. It was so...
The jokes are just horrendous, some of them.
Yeah.
If it was funny, I don't even think it's funny. It's just
no.
It was nothing. I mean, comedy is just there just to say those ugly things, out there. So, so things like that, I would never ever touch.
Tisca, come back to you.
As an actor, sometimes you portray characters that are in the larger interest of the story.
Sure.
Sort of showing you what not to do, in a way. That this path will lead to this. So then it becomes my job to not be attached to the moral, ethical situation of the character per se, because from the character's point of view, that character is going to be right and have their own reasons. So I'm not judging the character like that. I'm judging the film. I'm judging the larger piece of work and seeing if it's something that I think should be put out into the world. My daughter is almost 13, and as Radhika was mentioning, mother of a 1-year-old, I'm like, she's, her favorite character in the world is Baburao Ganpat Rao Apte from Hera Pheri. She doesn't want to meet Akshay, she doesn't want to meet Sunil Shetty, she wants to meet Paresh Rawal, and she wants to meet him so badly that she doesn't want to meet him. She's like,
I understand. You're almost afraid if you meet your heroes, it'll go away and all that.
So I told her, I said, I'll take you, and he's a friend of mine, and I'll take you to meet Baburao. She's saying, no, I don't want to meet Baburao. But the idea of that if you're putting something out in, so she can't watch this film because this is not age appropriate for her. However, if she sees it when she's a little older, I'll be very happy.
Sure.
Because it's setting certain things, the natural order of the world. That's the larger, deeper thing, that if you're not plant-like,
Sure.
and if you have no nurturing qualities like plants do, then if you're not giving anything back and everything is about take, then, your end is not going to be so great, thematically.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Radhika, you want to add to this conversation about where you draw the line?
No, I think I agree with both of them, actually. It's not the individual character I judge, it's the larger picture.
Of course.
I've actually turned down those sex comedies. When I was offered them after Badlapur.
What
is the connection? Just because I stripped, then I was offered sex comedy. Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
It's so
It's ridiculous.
तू
Yeah.
नहीं बताती तो मैं नहीं कर पाता कभी.
क्या connection है? मुझे भी नहीं पता connection क्या है.
Weird.
And I was like, wow. So obviously I will not do it. And there were some other projects that came, and so me and my managers were joking. We were like, we'll ask for like ridiculous amount of money. They said yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is very funny. And obviously we turned it down.
Of course.
But I just can't do things that don't fit into my value system as a larger picture, as she said. I'd love to play like great characters which don't.
Yeah,
Which are me,
which are
obviously.
grey and which are crazy.
But
Like when morality goes out of the window, it's fun to do that.
absolutely.
Yeah,
But
nothing again.
I feel like this is more about the social responsibility. This is not more about like an individual belief.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can play a murderer. It doesn't mean that you want to murder.
And also, like I feel like that's not art either. Not because I don't agree with their politics. It's not that they most of the time they're making these things because they sell and because
they
they're
have
so
like
crass.
propaganda.
It's low-hanging
they sell.
fruit.
It's not exactly. It's
Yeah.
such low. And that's why. So it's not even art or anything.
Yeah,
it's
it's not
just
creative.
It's just cheap business and
Yeah. Saali Mohabbat and the topic of infidelity is discussed every single day. Individuals react very differently. We see how your character has reacted. It is her reaction, like I said, rage. But I want to know individually, infidelity is discussed so often. I want to understand how you look at it. What is your opinion on where it can go, Because you've done a film where we see it happening. And I want to understand, how do you deal with this deceit and infidelity as a human being and through your characters? How did you look at that?
through my character, see, infidelity. Is it okay to talk?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. Right?
Infidelity. You can't look at it without context.
Sure.
You can't look at anything without context.
Very rightly said.
Yeah, so you can't just take the word and have an opinion on the word. In what context and what is so much detail. You have to analyze characters, their relationship, their pasts, to understand why something took place. Also, now in our story, it's not just the story of infidelity. It's a story of, it's a complicated story of psychology. Again, what I like about this film is that it's not saying who's right, who's wrong till the end. It's not that someone's winning, someone's losing, or as an audience we're saying great or not great. It's not that. It's a psychological investigation on these characters. I don't look at either of the characters as innocent after a point.
Sure.
You know, they're not. All our characters are
Twisted.
Not just twisted, but entangled in their own chaos of their life journey, right? This is how I look at it. This Esther Perel, who's the psychologist, you should listen to her, read her books, excellent books or podcasts about infidelity. I have very mixed views on infidelity because...
And then there are layers of physical cheating is not okay, but emotional cheating is bad.
It's just stupid, I think. Cheating is secondary. I think what is more important is the other aspects of it. And if I know 100 people, I'll tell you 90 of them have cheated on their partners. I'm telling you this because this is the fact. And still we talk about it as if it's some taboo.
Yeah.
It's not. Look at the whole system of how marriage evolved from being an economic transaction to today. What does it mean? How do individuals, in what societies, what is suppression? What is sex? How is sex viewed? How is love viewed? How are marriages taking place?
And the dynamics of power.
Dynamics of relationship, restraint, family dynamics. People go through lots of changes. People change. I'm not going to be the same individual tomorrow.
And marriage
My
as an
needs will
institution
change.
in itself.
Exactly. There's so much to it
100%.
that I feel this word, and it's not that simple an
I agree.
answer.
Yeah.
And also, it's not a taboo. It's not a taboo at all.
No,
A
it's
lot
not
of
taboo.
times these things happen out of something completely different, but the person who cheats is always looked down upon. And of course, there is some people who take privilege in doing what they want because the partner in this situation in our film is subservient and a victim as a product of the whole moral compass, the whole. So that's a different situation. So anyway, in short, I think the context is important. Now,
But I think you've explained it very
rightly
well.
said. Yeah, rightly said. I mean, you can't just look at it in
Fair enough.
isolation.
So, I was waiting for more. He's like, okay.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
if you,
fair enough.
generally,
Okay.
if you agree with
Okay.
something.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Just you want to add to this, considering, there's so much of it that you've tried to say through your characters.
About infidelity?
Yeah. Or the idea.
I think, to me, it's a very simple thing. You've made a contract first with yourself. The first thing that you say, I will be with this person. And you make up your mind about it.
Sure.
If you change your mind, let the other person know you've changed your mind. You're breaking your contract to yourself, and I think self-respect comes from self-discipline. So if you don't have the self-discipline to be honest and sincere about the promise that you made to yourself, you're cheating yourself. बाकी दूसरे को तो आप क्या ही उल्लू बनाओगे, पहले तो अपने आप को बना रहे हो ना, क्योंकि पहला सबसे शब्द अपने आप को बोला है. तो जो आपने अपने आप को बोला है, अगर आप वो नहीं मेंटेन कर पा रहे हो, इतना तक कि आप दूसरे को बता दो कि हमसे नहीं हो पा रहा है भाई, ना हो पाएगा हमसे, तो डर में जी रहे हो. फिर आप इसलिए जी रहे हो क्योंकि he is bringing in the bread and butter, or you like the diamonds, or that, my children, then look after the children. Then if you want to go outside, then have the guts to look after the children and say, okay, fine. There's lots of single mothers who are bringing up 3-4 children, doing their own thing.
Yeah, be brave then.
Then do it. Then do it with like, okay, I'm going to do it. It's that I want my cake and I want to eat it too. I want you at home as my wife, but I also want the secretary on the side, or I want this on the side, and I will not tell you, and I will lie, and I will, think that you won't find out, and whatever. The other person also already knows from your body language. They may even be lying to themselves. So it's a very complicated maze of things that go on between people. It's not so one level. So infidelity is firstly to yourself, in my mind.
But I think this conversation proves why you guys are so talented, and like I said, there is so much that we have to learn from your works as well. Thank you. We appreciate you for what you guys do, and all the best for Saali Mohabbat.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.